The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Vote for Happy Hour as best local podcast by the Creative Loafing Tampa. Spread the word.
Are you feeling classy today? Sit down, pour a glass of wine, and listen to Happy Hour.
You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
What is happening? This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and I'm going to be doing two shows today. I'm going to do one where I usually rant and I speak my mind, and that will be the second one, but by no means am I looking for attention when I do this podcast about my birthday and me turning 22. By no means am I looking for people to go, happy birthday, Ryan, but I want to explain why turning 22 to me feels different than usual. But first, you can always tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. That is at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Also, vote Happy Hour as best local podcast in the Tampa Bay area by the Creative Loafing. Just go to tinyurl.com/vote Happy Hour. That is tinyurl.com/vote Happy Hour. There, click best local podcast under the tab. And best morning show would be Mike Calta, best radio, 102.5 The Bone. All of that and more, that tinyurl.com/vote Happy Hour. 22 years ago at 3 p.m. Central Time, my mom gave birth to me on 9/3/93 at 3 p.m. while listening to 93.1 XRT in Chicago. My dad would always describe it as the happiest moment of his life, seeing me come out. And me and my dad weren't always the closest. He passed away in November of leukemia, but now that time has gone by and it's going on 9 to 10 months since he's died, I'm realizing how close me and him were without even knowing it. Because I remember last year, I didn't want to get up. I went to bed late, and I get up, and it's like my 21st birthday last year. And my dad opens up the shades and just wakes me up and starts singing this song by the Beatles and dancing like an absolute goofball. And at the time, I was rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, man, my dad's being silly, this and that. But it's not until that he's gone that you realize that he loved me more than anything, and he was just being him, which I appreciated without knowing that I appreciated it, because we didn't know how close we were to each other, because we didn't always get along. But now looking back, me and him were very close. So I find this letter in my room, right? And so I get the package in the mail from my mom today, right? And it has a letter that he gave me last year. And these words mean more now than they ever did. And they should have meant more to me last year. But, you know, when you're a kid and you get an emotional note from your parents or your aunt in a card, sometimes it's so flattering and loving that you don't know how to respond. You're like, thanks. It says, happy birthday, Ryan. I am more than proud to be your father. Your passion and ambition is what inspires me each and every day. I love you more than anything, and if you ever need anything, I am here for you. I will always have your back, and I love you more than anything. And I think I remember reading that. First of all, it had really bad cursive because he was trying so hard to be professional, which it was. I loved the card, but it was hard to read, so I think I half read it, and I was like, thanks, Dad. But now looking back, that's one of the sweetest things my dad ever did for me. I mean, he's basically saying, I will always love you no matter what. And it was just, we weren't always close and we didn't always see eye to eye, but you just look back and you just realize how much you love your dad. So, I mean, if you have a dad out there or a mom or any relative that you want to say you love to, call them right now. Don't send them a text. Texts are dumb. give them a call and say that you love them, because my dad didn't like text because he thought it was too like technological. He liked doing the phone-to-phone conversation. So call up your dad or call up your mom and just say that you love them, because I wish I could do that right now, but I know my dad is proud of me for what I am doing. And it's just weird to be celebrating my birthday at the Cox Media Building in a major radio market, recording a podcast, when a year ago I was eating burritos with my dad and I was getting my driver's license. Like, it's weird where a year can take you. So I miss my dad more than anything. I'm not religious, but I do believe that he's an angel, just because before he had leukemia, which he got in May 2013. Yeah, like May 21st, 2013. He would pray the rosary every day, and he would try to go to daily mass every single day. But once he had leukemia, it broke his heart that he couldn't go to mass because of all the germs. One person gets mad that they have to miss church every single day. That was my dad. He was one of the most devout and spiritual guys ever. So that's why I look up to him. And that's why I did appreciate him, but at times we didn't appreciate each other, but we didn't realize how close we were. And I'm not even trying to be depressing. It's just, this has been a weird year for me, especially losing him and then losing my cats 2 months ago. Like, I'm not even trying to be like depressing or sad. I'm just kind of pouring my emotions out to the world, because I had Brother Weeze on my show and he did great. And he told me on the show that I need to show more about my life and not just rant, but the good hosts are the ones that talk about their life. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I thought I was going to be 21 forever. It's one of those things where you keep waiting to turn 16 so you can get your driver's license. Even when you turn 10, you're like, ooh, double digits. And then you turn 18 and you're like, ooh, I can buy cigars. I'm cool. Then you turn 21 and you're like, ooh, I can drink now. And now I'm 22 and I'm just like, okay. But my 21st year of being on this great planet of ours in this great universe was quite the year. I relocated to 2 different cities and have worked 2 different dream jobs within that time, and it doesn't seem like real life. Like, I took the weird approach to life. I never was good at paying attention in school, so when I went to community college for a year, all I did was focus on my radio show and then my podcast. So I didn't flunk out of community college, but I got all C's. So then I went to a radio school for a year. And then at the age of 21, I moved to Cleveland, work on the biggest show. And now I'm in Tampa in a major market around the best hosts in radio. Like, it's unreal to think that right now I should be a senior in college, but I'm here in Tampa Bay around such hosts as Mike Kelta and Drew Garabo in the same building as me. It just does not seem real. And it's been such a weird 21st year for me, because I thought I was going to be 21 forever. Whenever I would go out in public and I would get recognized by fans of Rover in Cleveland, people would be like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm 21. And they're like, "Oh, you're such a baby." And it was just that thing. Every single time you would tell somebody you didn't know that you're 21, they're like, "Oh, now you're legal, now this and that." And now it's just like, "Oh, I'm 22. Like, it reminds you that you're not going to be young forever, so you need to appreciate each and every day. It's just something I notice. And also, my cat died 2 months ago today. So 2 months ago today, my cat died. So that's kind of eerie. My dad died. I've worked in 2 different cities, and I go to the beach every other week. I mean, it's just funny where life can take you. I'm so honored with the opportunity that I have right now working at the Cox Media Building for 102.5 The Bone. I'm honored that Mike Kelta has, I guess you would say, taken me under his wing and helped me out so much. I'm just honored that everybody in this building has been so kind and so genuine to me and has just been more than classy to me the first 4 months here. It's unreal to think that it's been 1/3 of a year since I went from Cleveland to Florida. It feels like just yesterday my cat, Dino, rest his soul, was on my lap as I was driving through West Virginia in the mountains, and he was purring, and I'm like, I'm moving to Florida. I'm going to a dream radio market. I've always loved Cowhead. Well, now it's my Kelta. I hope this didn't come off as bragging or me being a douchebag. It's how I feel. Like, I'm so happy. Like, whenever I meditate, there's this meditation I meditate to. Let me play it for you guys. And it's funny. It's really good at making your ego big. It talks about how you need to appreciate each moment and you don't know how much people love you. Here, let me play it. And every time I meditate to this, it really expands my mind. It makes me appreciate each second that I'm alive. Here, let me play it.
You have spent too long being so hard on yourself.
Do you hear how deep that is? Can you imagine laying in bed and you have this sexy voice going, "You've been too hard on yourself"? Like, whenever I meditate to this, that's when I'm able to appreciate everything I have and that I had a dad that loved me, my mom supports me, and that I'm working in Tampa Bay. I mean, let's listen to this. Just imagine, like, laying in bed and not thinking about anything but how great your life is to this. You know? She's talking about quit judging yourself, quit this and that. I mean, everybody, I will tweet this out at Ryan Hoppe Radio, the best meditation possible, because it makes you realize this, that at the end of the day, nothing really matters besides your friends and your family and your job. Like, we all go through stress each and every day. And we all think that everybody's got it perfect, but we never know what somebody has. So I'm just really taking the approach of my life of just appreciating each and every day that I am given, and to make it in radio and to make my dad proud, because he first didn't believe in me. But when he saw that I got hired in Cleveland, he was listening live when Rover announced that I was hired in Cleveland. I will never forget the face he made. His face was of pure joy. He's like, "Ryan, that's the show you grew up listening to. That's the show you grew up listening to. You got hired." And I remember he hugged me so hard. So every single day that I do happy hour, every single day I deliver pizzas, every single day, or whenever they need me to answer phones at the Bone or run the board or do promotion events, any second I work out, any second I breathe, it's for my dad, and it's so I can make it in life, but just appreciating each and every second that I am alive. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. I'm approaching my show differently. I'm going to keep ranting and keep speaking my mind, but I also want to expand the way that we think and how we approach life. So I'm going to keep meditating, and I'll be back with some more content tomorrow. All right, the next Happy Hour is going to be a little more in your face. I got some things to rant about. All right, so that will be up after this on Happy Hour. Hang on.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.